Leicester City's James Maddison has come of interest to Arsenal Football Club as they look to sign a brand new attacking midfielder. So what exactly has the Arsenal transfer goat, the AFC Bell, said today? Are Arsenal also looking to sign Tammy Abraham on a loan transfer? And could a certain Rob Holding be on his way out? Well, let's find out in today's episode of The Transfers FC. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14 and oh boy do I have a surprise for you. Very soon and exclusively on your boys channel, I will be interviewing Arsenal reporter and the main man, Mr. Charles Watts. And so if you have any Arsenal and transfer related questions, make sure to get them down into the comments below. And of course, also don't forget to smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new to the ting. But let's get straight into the Arsenal transfer news today and starting off with Mr. James Maddison. Even the reliable Chris Wheatley had recently confirmed that Arsenal had put forward an official player plus cash deal to Leicester City, but that offer was rejected. So what today has the Arsenal GOAT for transfers, Mr. AFC Bell, been saying? They have confirmed that Arsenal have appointed Darren Robinson as the intermediary to engage in talks with Leicester about a number of possible offers that would lure Leicester to the table for official negotiations for Maddison. There has been no breakthrough in talks, but there are positive signs. Now, who, my friends, is Mr. Darren Robinson? Talk to me about this guy. Well, here is a photo of a young Maddison back in 2016. And on the side of the young Maddison is a certain Darren Lee Robinson, who helped secure Maddison a move from Coventry to Norwich City. So as you guys can see, Mr. Darren Robinson has history with young Maddis. And those connections with Maddison's party must be a massive reason why Arsenal are using Mr. Robinson in negotiation with Leicester City. Leicester did not close the door on Robinson, the intermediary representing Arsenal, in this round of talks, and did not give indications of a deadline for the deal, which gave a positive impression that Leicester are open to negotiations once a £60 million offer arrives, says the AFC Bell. So as the Bell says, that Leicester have made their intentions very clear. They do not want a player plus cash deal, and instead they want £60 million, and that being in cash only. And once Arsenal put that sort of money on the table, only then will Leicester enter official negotiations with Arsenal over the James Maddison transfer. And with Arsenal set to sell a certain Joe Willock for £25 million, once they get that money, I expect Arsenal to make a brand new proposal to Leicester for Maddison within the next few days. The AFC Bell also says sources close to Arsenal's negotiations for James Maddison and familiar with the club's purchasing power in this window have already indicated that they would rather avoid spending madly on one player and neglecting any gaps or shortages in their squad. If Leicester asks for an obscene amount of money for James Maddison, in their eyes, they're not going to pay that because they don't want to hamper any other positions they also want to address. And those, of course, would be a right back, a goalkeeper, and also a centre forward. And even Chris Wheatley has confirmed that Arsenal are still some way apart from Leicester's valuation of James Maddison, and the focus is now bringing in a backup goalkeeper and a creative midfielder, with Arsenal also exploring a cheaper James Maddison alternative. Kolasinac and Torreira are among the players Arteta wants to sell. And while personal terms will not be an issue agreeing a contract with the player, if Arsenal cannot agree a fee with Leicester City, that will be the biggest issue in this potential transfer. And the real question now is, can Arsenal pay the £60+ million Leicester City wants? Well, according to the AFC Bell, the feeling from the people close to the conversation surrounding James Maddison is that Arsenal are willing to compromise with Leicester in a deal for the player. Leicester's intention is to negotiate at the £60 million barrier has not discouraged Arsenal, but rather the opposite. So the Bell says that Arsenal are encouraged by the £60 million barrier Leicester have set, and ask yourselves the question, why would Arsenal be positive in the first place if they did not know they could afford the player? Essentially what is happening right now is Arsenal are trying to find the best possible deal for themselves, and this is a common thing when it comes to transfer negotiations. Now, as you guys know, Arsenal also have quite a few other expensive transfer targets, and so if the Arsenal negotiator can save a few £1 in this transfer, then that will only aid our pursuit of the other transfer targets, a centre forward, a right back, and potentially a goalkeeper. Fabrizio Romano says that Arsenal are still keeping an eye on Martin Odegaard. He's always been the main target as the number 10. If he decides to leave Real Madrid and Real decide to sell him, Arsenal will bid for Odegaard. So Fabrizio Romano is making it clear that Arsenal still have their eyes on a certain Martin Odegaard, but saying that the AFC Bell has said that James Maddison is Arsenal's number 1 target, despite reports saying their number 1 target is Martin Odegaard. So essentially what we got, my friends, now is a transfer battle. Who do you want to believe the AFC Bell or Fabrizio Romano. Really and truly the clash of the titans. Chris Wheatley says that Football London has learnt that Manchester United midfielder Jesse Lingard is being lined up as a replacement for James Maddison in an event that he leaves the club. So Leicester are already eyeing up potential James Maddison replacements. Ask yourself the question, why would they be doing that if they didn't understand that Arsenal had a good chance of signing James Maddison? But as always, I'm going to throw it to you guys down below in the comments. Do you think that Arsenal will sign this £60 million player in James Maddison in this transfer window? Moving on to the centre forward, let's discuss a certain Tammy Abraham, because we have an update from one of the most reliable journalists in Italy. We're talking Gianluca Di Marzio, who has today confirmed that Tammy Abraham is at the top of Arsenal's wish list. However, they must sell Lacazette first. Abraham himself is enticed by the Gunners. Right now, it is his first choice in event of a farewell with Chelsea. So the reliable Gianluca Di Marzio says that Tammy Abraham is Arsenal's #1 striking priority. And of course, that kind of puts to bed the rumours of Lautaro Martinez, whose agent has yesterday confirmed that he is going to stay at Inter Milan. But keeping it in Italy, other Italian clubs have also been linked to a transfer for Tammy Abraham, in particular a certain Atalanta. Well, according to Di Marzio today, Atalanta have withdrawn from the race to sign Tammy Abraham, and that leaves only Roma and Arsenal that are interested. So apparently Atalanta are now out of the race, but AS Roma, wasn't this club meant to be broke? Aren't these the same Donnies that weren't willing to spend an extra €5 million on Granit Xhaka and now want a £30 to £40 million rated striker in Tammy Abraham? All I want to know is, what are you man in Rome smoking? And talking about potential deal, Calcio Mercato say Chelsea are now open to a loan with the obligation to buy for Tammy Abraham. Atalanta and Roma want the player, but Tammy wants to join Arsenal. Arsenal will only really sign Tammy if they can get a loan with the obligation to buy. This has also been reported in the past in the UK, and now that Chelsea are set to sign Romelu Lukaku, they are going to need to sell a player, and I think that player is going to be Tammy Abraham. But if Arsenal were to sign Tammy on loan with the obligation to buy, would you guys be for it or would you guys be against it? Chris Wheatley says that Newcastle and Arsenal have reached an agreement over the permanent transfer of Joe Willock, and he has also confirmed the final fee is expected to be in the region of £25 million, including add-ons and a sell-on clause. But there is no mention of a buyback clause, unfortunately, and the fact that even Arsenal have included a sell-on clause tells me that even they are aware of his potential future. The Athletic claim that although Mikel Arteta was open to welcoming Joe Willock back into the squad, it was always the case that offers in excess of £20 million for a player regarded as a squad option rather than a first team starter would be difficult to resist, and that is what Arsenal are getting, £25 million for Joe Willock. And I said it before and I'll say it again, that money is only going to help Arsenal in our pursuit to signing a brand new attacking midfielder. But what are your own thoughts on Joe Willock going for £25 million? Is that a fair price or is that not? What about the future of a certain Rob Holding? Well, as it says here, the player wanted to be part of England's Euro squad and he fancies himself for the World Cup. If game time looks limited at Arsenal, which it does, I'm sure he'd take an exit to put himself in contention, having seen what has happened with Emi Martinez. And this might just be an opinion, but you know what, I also do agree with it. Now that Arsenal have signed Benjamin White, who's going to be Arsenal's first team right-sided centre-back, we've also got a certain Callum Chambers who can also play in that position. If Mr. Rob Holdini is even serious about playing for England at the World Cup, he's going to have to play consistent first team minutes. And of course, last year quite a few Premier League clubs were interested in Rob Holding. So let's keep an eye on his future and let's see if an offer comes in, because you know what, I would not be surprised. But what's your own thoughts on Rob Holding, the player? And if Arsenal were to sell the player, would you be for it? Would you be against it? And if so, how much money are you looking for Mr. Rob Holding? And moving on to the other Arsenal news today. First things first, both Gabriels, Martinelli and Magalhaes are back in official Arsenal training. As you can see, Gabriel Martinelli is back at London Colney today after returning from his Olympic success with Brazil. So 2 days ago, our Brazilian star boy was in Tokyo holding up a gold medal. Fast forward a couple of days, he's now back in Arsenal training. What a guy, what a player, that's my star boy. And as has also been confirmed, Gabriel Magalhaes is also back at London Colney today. Now in terms of Gabriel, of course he's recovering from a knee injury, and while he's not going to be fit enough to start against Brentford in 4 days time, Arsenal themselves have confirmed that Gabriel is only going to be out for only a few weeks. And so once Mr. Magalhaes is back, how is he going to partner with a certain Benjamin White? All I'm going to say is I am low-key excited. Let's discuss a certain Lucas Torreira, who as things stand is still currently in Spain saying, and this has got a lot of Arsenal fans in confusion. But as Dan Critchlow has cleared up, Uruguay is on the red list for the UK, and that meant that Torreira had to travel via another country to avoid being stuck quarantining in the hotel for 10 days. So he's in Madrid, where he can train until he's free to travel to England. So hopefully that clears up the whole Lucas Torreira situation. Now Chris Whitley has already reported that Arsenal want to sell Lucas Torreira, but what's your own thoughts on the Uruguayan defense midfielder? But with a certain Thomas Partey injured for the start of the season, do comment down below, would you give a certain Lucas Torreira a lifeline in his Arsenal career and potentially give him a chance this season, because for me he's always been a decent little player. And that is the video around there. If you have enjoyed, make sure to go down there and smash a like on the video, and while you're down there, please do consider subscribing to your boy's channel. If you want to follow your boy on them social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was the latest episode of the Transfers FC, a Charles Watt collaboration incoming. But until then, I will see you guys soon in a bit.